Hey, so I thought I'd do an art video because I got into the Artists of Mosman again. It's my second time getting in. I thought about taking you to the gallery, but it's been really hot and I don't want to leave the house if I don't have to, so sorry. But you can see on Instagram and Patreon and my website as well. I've updated all the things. Except DeviantArt, I still keep forgetting to update that. But anyway, you can see on all those things the thing I entered, but I have the colour version here. So the one that's in the Artists of Mosman gallery is a black and white version of this. And yeah, I've written a bit about why I've done a colour and a black and white on my Patreon. Yeah, it's my puppy, Hope, when he was, when he was a puppy. I still see him as a puppy, but yeah, and he's playing under my bed with a toy. You can see red carpet and, can you see bed? Yeah, bed, although I had a different blanket, so yeah. Anyway, that's that. Let's go and walk around my house and see some of the other things that I've put up. Although you can already see this huge backdrop thing from when I did Zombie Walk, and I was like, I'm gonna do photo shoots in front of a zombie wall, and so I made this wall thing. And had to drag it into my room because my parents are like, you can't just leave this everywhere, so it's my wall now. Let's go a bit closer. Yeah, so I'm sorry you can't see the bottom bit because my bed's in the way, but you get the idea. Lots of crazy writing. Some, you know, like quotes from things, and then others is just gibberish. Yeah, and I did that with spray paint and other paint and random papers and wallpaper, glue that makes it actually feel like wallpaper, and yeah, that was a long time ago, 2013 I think, and yeah, it's kind of cool. It makes my bedroom a little bit more interesting. Here's a sort of wearable art piece. You kind of wear it like a hat, but it's a clip. I'm not going to take it down, but you can see a picture of me wearing it on Instagram. This one is not by me. It's by a Sydney artist who goes by the name Reaper Grimm. And yeah, he does a lot of airbrushing stuff. He's also a tattoo artist. And yeah, it's cool, so I bought it. And it's on my wall now! Yay! Up here above my window is some older artwork, dragon type stuff. Yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing, and to be honest, I probably still don't really know what I'm doing, but yeah, I had a big thing for dragons. Sorry about the lighting, because up here it's a bit shadowy, but you get the idea. So, flying dragon over oceans thing, big green eye, and then this one, I added in the dragon in the top corner. I don't know if you can see him very well, and they're sort of phoenixes, and it's a bit of a, I guess, kind of, has a bit of a religious vibe in some ways, sort of apocalyptic fight kind of thing. Those dragons and phoenixes were added in some kind of pastel, I reckon. All this stuff's acrylic. I've only done one oil painting. I'll show you that in a sec. Acrylic's so much easier though. Anyway, let's go to something else. Here's some random failed experiment. I was playing with some texture type stuff, and yeah, you can see there's a bit of a 3D thing going on here. And it turned into a spaceship. I don't know what's happening. Oh, and here's some nail art from like high school. It's really old. Sorry about the shadow. Yeah, I did that for design and technology in year 11. There's one missing, but oh well. It's been up on my wall for like ever. Here's some of my modeling photos. I don't know if this counts as art, but hey, it looks artsy. And it's kind of fun. This is another one that's not by me. It's by Edmond Thommen. He's a sort of photographic artist, like he merges pictures together, so there's usually a naked woman in there somewhere and then all this texture. And because I write poetry, he'll take, like we have this thing where he'll take a line from my poetry to use as a title, which is kind of fun. It's nice to see my words turning into something instead of just, you know, being shouted into the void. This one's called Tainted Soul, and again, I'm sorry about the lighting. Here's another one by Edmond Thommen. I don't know if it has a title though. Yeah, that's kind of cool, and it's right next to this one. You probably recognize. I use it as like my picture everywhere. Oh my god, it's so big I can't even get it in the thing. Yeah, right at our front door. And you can see all the tiny little faces. I'll zoom in on them. So you can't usually see them too well in like my avatar pictures and whatever. I think there's a version of it on DeviantArt. Maybe you can see some of these a bit better, but there you go. Lots of me younger making faces, and I'm looking at it now and I'm like, gee, I'm kind of crazy. Holy crap. Here's the one that sort of got me interested in doing a Master of Art. You know, like I was pretty badly depressed for a couple of years there, and yeah, this was one thing that I could actually work on and get finished. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll do art and maybe art will make me feel better. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's another huge one. Me looking quite blue. And then next to it is one of the things I put in the Artists of Mosman thing last year. And I did that for uni. It's sort of like me at 3 different stages. So me as a kid, me in high school, and then me, I guess, last year. And here's another one I did at uni. It's the colours of Mount Fuji. And yeah, we had a whole bunch of guidelines to follow, but I ended up turning it into something a bit more coherent instead of just being an exercise. I think I've written a big thing on my Patreon about it. That's publicly accessible, so if you want to know what it's about, just go on there, because I can't be bothered right now, I'm sorry. And here's my first ever proper oil painting. It's another one of Hope, and I think it was when he was a puppy as well. Yeah, he's got such a tiny little tail, that must have been when he was a puppy. Yeah, oil is just, it's a pain to paint with, because you've got to worry about how thick the paint is and do it in a specific order, and it takes forever to dry. And I mean, the results, I like how it turned out, and there's some things that are easier to do in it compared to acrylic, but yeah, just, I don't have the space. You've got to have some ventilation, and I kind of just annoyed my family for ages leaving this out on the easel, trying to dry and finish it off. So yeah, I probably won't be doing much oil painting. I'll stick to acrylics mostly. Here's some sculpture-y thingies! The sheep, not the Thomas and the penguin and the perpetual Christmas trees. This one's got one little, it's a bit hard to get the angle, one little ball on it, and this one's got heaps of colourful ones. And I've written about that on Patreon as well. I kind of just write all my art stuff on Patreon. I did try doing some more on my website blog, but I'm using WordPress and it's just a pain to update. I've sort of worked out a way to do it, but it involves uploading things direct to the server, and yeah, WordPress is not good for uploading images. I'm kind of just sticking to Patreon as my main blog. It's just easier. Here's a thing from a long time ago, my dragon pottery thing. I did that at the local community college, and what are these? Oh, I must have done those the first time I tried going to Kofa. Like, shit, I can't even, let's see if I can get the camera up there, because I can't see it from down here. Yeah, so you make molds in clay and then pour plaster in. But yeah, I don't know why I even kept them. They're not that special. Yeah, big dragon thing. Whoa, I'm getting unbalanced. Yeah, I think those are the main things I've got around. We've got some other art. Oh, there's some more art just behind my, but it's a bit dusty, so I don't think I'll show you that. I've got lots of old art hanging around, and then there's some art that I've got in the little storage space in the roof. And then there's other paintings that, like, are probably Dad bought somewhere. I don't know anything about them, so I won't show you. Yeah, but so if you want to see more of my art, I did make a blog post on my website. That's how I know it's so frustrating. But I basically put, like, everything I did, every major thing I did last year. So if you want to see the art that I've been doing, go have a look at that. And if you want the more detailed version, most of them are available as public posts on my Patreon, so you can have a look at that. And then I've posted some things on my Instagram, but mostly I'm posting kind of fashion things. Like, I'm dressed up again today. I've got the purple, and then the purple skirt, and later on I'll do some makeup. I'm going out with a friend. Yeah, so art stuff. To be honest though, not really sure what I'm doing with art, and you know, I'm studying a Master of Art degree. My undergrad was actually in music though, and you know, some of you might know I had my band Rainbow Death Ray, which is sort of on hiatus at the moment, but I've been trying to teach myself to guitar solo so I can finish recording the rest of our stuff and, you know, hopefully release it later this year. At least as a demo. I don't think I'll make it like a proper CD or anything. But yeah, no, what was I talking about? Art. Stay on topic, stay on topic. With art, right, so this coming up semester, I mean, this is one of the reasons I might not get as many videos out once semester starts, but it's going to be my final semester, so I've got to come up with a major art project, and I'm like freaking out because I've kind of decided that I don't like the art world. It's just, I don't know, I mean, all of these creative industries, you have to work hard at, you know, making connections, and you've got to go to events and things, and, you know, you've got to talk to venues or galleries or whichever one's relevant, and, you know, just keep pushing your stuff out there. So it's all kind of the same, but when I think about it, I much prefer the music scene, even though I think it's going to be heaps harder to get anywhere with it. I much prefer that to the art scene, because like at least in the art scene every now and then you might get some rich person who's like, oh, isn't this great, and they'll buy your stuff. But with music, it tends to be more of your average Joe who's listening to it, and so they're not going to just drop a big pile of cash on you. But yeah, no, with music I actually enjoy it. I can go to a gig and rock out and feel something, whereas with art, I'll look at art most of the time and be like, oh yeah. I mean, when I know something about the art, I guess I can appreciate it a bit more, but, you know, just going to a gallery and seeing things, I don't have that magical appreciation for it. And it's just not practical to read the explanation about every artist's artwork, and then some of them are just like, it's kind of just like art for art's sake, and I'm not that into it if it doesn't look, you know, fantastic. Yeah, and you know, most people don't even look at your art for very long anyway, so you can spend ages on it, and whereas if you're making music and someone actually likes your music, they might play it over and over, they'll come to a few of your gigs, but really the main thing is about my enjoyment. I do like making art and being able to express myself, but waving a paintbrush around or molding something, to me, isn't as immediate. I mean, if I'm being honest, right, writing a song for me is a real drag. It doesn't come naturally to me. But the payoff is when I can actually get up there and sing it, because singing is one of those things that really lets me get my emotions out and like feel it and be part of it, and it's fun, and rocking out and dancing. That's the part that makes it all worthwhile. You know, getting up on that stage and sharing something with people, and like, it's one of those times where I actually connect with my audience, like connect with other people, and the kind of person that I am, I don't get that normally. I'm very dead inside. So yeah, I just enjoy music so much more. And you know, when I was at my gallery opening last year for my classes exhibition, if I'm being honest with myself, I was so bored, and I was just like, I wish I was at a gig right now. So yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about art, because this is my major thing. I mean, fortunately, I'm doing 3 subjects. One is the double subject, which is the one where I have to come up with a major project. The second one is the project paper, so I've got to write something about the art that I make. But it's pretty easy to just make something up. I can take anything and read into the symbolism way too much, so I'm not too worried about that. As long as I have a project, I'll be able to explain it. I think it's some ridiculously high word count, but if you know me, or just judging by the way that I talk for ages and ages and you can't shut me up, my writing is much the same. I will go on forever. So I'm not worried about reaching word counts. I think that's, everyone else will be freaking out about that, whereas I'm the one freaking out about the art project. Yeah, and then the last subject that I'm doing is about music business. Art business. See, I'm thinking about music so much, but it's probably going to be a lot like music business, just with like more artsy things with galleries instead of venues, and what dealers instead of promoters or managers. I don't know. So yeah, but I'm better at theory stuff than I am at creative stuff. I know I look creative, but I'm actually kind of not, in a way. I'm sort of faking my way through creativity. Every now and then I'll have a moment of inspiration, but most of the time it's a real drag, and that's probably why I haven't done much with my life yet, because I'm sort of torn between I'm much more naturally a mathematician kind of person, and now it turns out I'm good at writing as well. School, don't get me started on high school English and the HSC in Australia. I don't know if it's changed, but when I was doing it, it was a load of... Don't get me started. But yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that I'm more naturally good at, things involving very rigid rules and stuff. But my heart is very much in the creative side of things, and I've got this constant between the two. Shit, what was I talking about again? Art. Yeah, this semester, I'm really hoping that the teacher won't be too much of a tight ass and I can somehow get my music into my major project. Ideally, I'd like to write a sort of solo album or EP or something, because I find I work on that stuff more if it's for education. Because when you give me a deadline, I'm like, oh no, I have to write something, and so I won't be so perfectionist about it, and I'll actually get it done. And I've also always wanted to do some kind of solo thing, because I already did so much work for Rainbow Death Ray, and I've learned so much from managing that, and I also kind of managed Wintergaunt way back, because, yeah, the boys didn't really want to do it, so I just took the job. Yeah, but after doing all that work, I kind of just want to do things myself and not worry about bands, and, you know, every now and then you get some band politics that can be a bit frustrating, especially like the failed bands that I had, that never saw the light of day. But yeah, if I can do something solo, I don't want to do noise art. I want to do actual music, and I want to do music where I can sing. And then, I don't know, maybe I go out to venues and just sort of karaoke my own tracks. And then, I don't know, 9 Inch Nails it if it ever goes anywhere, and grab a live band, and then the rest of the time just spend time in my little tiny cave. Welcome to my tiny cave. Yeah, so I really want to try and get more into music than art. Which is tricky because it just doesn't come naturally. But I've been learning to guitar solo. It's not very good, but I can bend the thing now. And I'm getting little calluses on my fingers that make it easier to play. So, you know, it's been a bit hard now because I know that uni is coming up, so I don't want to start anything major because I know I'm going to run out of time very soon. But I have been working on some Rainbow Death Ray stuff because I can always come back to that later. So maybe next week I'll record some vocals for it. I don't know. But yeah, I'm not so keen on art these days. But maybe this semester will change my mind. You've got to be open to new things, don't you? It's interesting that I've already spent 1.5 years in the degree and come out, you know, I went in thinking, oh, maybe art's the one thing I can do when I'm depressed, so at least I have something to, you know, keep busy with. And now that I'm not depressed, I'm like, who needs art? I go back to music. Not that music is a sustainable way to make a living. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But I've decided I'm gonna do that after I finish my degree, because I'm freaking out about the amount of work that I'm probably gonna have to do for this major project, especially if it's music, because if it's music, like, I'm just gonna have to sit there and force myself to write. Whereas if it's like a painting or a sculpture, I don't know, I'll just be like, slap some paint here and call it expressive. Anyway, shit, I'm gonna have to, I wonder if I can edit this quickly, but I'm gonna have to try and do makeup, because, like, we sort of go out and pretend to be all fancy. God, don't get me started on makeup. I've watched some tutorials of how fancy people do it, and, like, foundation, what a scary concept. I just do, like eyeliner, and then you put eyeshadow on it and smudge it so that it look like, you know, you cover up your mistakes and then it looks like you meant it. It's all jazz. How's my wiggle hands? Oh my god, 10 minutes. See, I can just talk forever. And my essays are the same. They go on forever. Probably if you look at my Patreon or, yeah, most of my Patreon, on my website blog, I'm heaps shorter because I'm just like, it's just my website and uploading photos is terrible on this. But on my Patreon, that's when I'm talking to people who are like, yes, I would like to support you, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you all about what I did with this. So yeah, if you want to see me writing a lot, my Patreon. You could also ask my Facebook friends. I have in the past written Facebook posts of 2,000 words. Of course, essays are harder than that, but you know, imagine if I could write an essay the same way I write a Facebook post. Yeah, I think I've embarrassed myself enough. Alright, I'll see you when I see you. Wow, what video should I make next? I'm not sure. I have some bigger... Oh, what was the thing that I was going to do? I was going to do the wardrobe. And then I got distracted with the art stuff because of the bloody Artists of Mosman thing. I guess I should tell you, if you happen to be in Sydney, the Mosman Art Gallery is near Taronga Zoo, and it's on until the 4th of March, and they're open like every day from I think 10 till 5. But it's a pretty conservative gallery, so there was one painting of a bondage thing, and I was like, oh my goodness, that's never in this kind of gallery. But turns out the artist is kind of famous, so you know, they can't exactly say no, can they? Yeah, but otherwise pretty tame. And actually next to the bondage painting, which is quite big, there was this tiny little painting of a lady with, like a little old lady with a blue dress, and I was just like, why would you put those two next to each other? Just the strangest curatorial decision I've ever seen. But yeah, no, there's a lot of work. There's 187 works in there, I think. And mine's on the first floor, near the inside steps. There's like outside steps going all the way up, but mine's on the inside steps on level 1. And it looks like this, but in black and white. Is that everything? Yeah. If you liked this, give me a like. If you're new here, subscribe. If you think someone wants to see it, share the video. What's the other thing I'm supposed to say? The notifications thing. I need to turn this into a song. If you like it, give me a like. If you're new here, subscribe. Oh my god, I am embarrassing myself so much right now. I'm going to go before I hurt myself. See you later. Suddenly occurs to me I could do a metal version of the like and subscribe song. If you like it, give me a like. If you're new here, subscribe.